Hi, my name is Nicki Sterba, and my method of mortality management is landfilling. Landfilling is the practice of bringing deceased animals to landfills rather than burying or composting them on site. This seeks to safely and securely dispose of carcasses by putting it into the hands of waste management professionals. Once the animal is delivered, landfills tend to bury or compost the bodies, usually at some sort of fee. Before bringing deceased animals, the producers should check and call to make sure that the landfill does accept this type of waste. Within the Blacksburg area, the Montgomery Regional Solid Waste Authority, located in Christiansburg, does accept deceased animals. They charge $54.50 per ton at a minimum of $2.70 for animals under 100 pounds. There is a scale house on grounds with which you can weigh the carcass before paying the fee. An average Holstein weighs 1,300 pounds, coming out to 35.43, so it's easy to see how disposing of many animals is easy to add up in the event of some sort of disease spread throughout a herd. Advantages to landfilling include the ease of the process, as it requires little to no manual labor. It can also be environmentally friendly if the landfill participates in composting, in which case the compost formed can be used as manure. Additionally, the service is offered by most landfills, and the producer does not need to use any of their own land in order to dispose of their animals. The practice is not perfect though, as there are a few disadvantages to the process. Primarily, if the landfill does compost, the manure produced will not traditionally be used by the producer which provided the animal, as opposed to on-site composting techniques. Transportation to carry the carcasses place to place is also required, as only if your local landfill does actually accept animal carcasses. Inconvenient hours of the landfill can also be an issue, and most carcasses must be disposed of within 48 hours, which can put some producers in a time crunch. Lastly, as previously examined, the practice can be expensive if done often for large animals. Looking more into when to utilize landfilling, it should be noted that in most cases, this is the most cost-effective when deaths are few and far between for larger animals, such as small cattle, horse, or swine farms. Regarding poultry, though, this would be best in a case of some sort of epidemic in which there are numerous deaths, as the minimum price for animals under 100 pounds is charged at many facilities. Comparing to other farm mortality management practices, it can be noted that the environmental impact of landfilling really depends on what the landfill does with the waste. If it does not compost, or the compost is not then used as manure, it can pale in comparison to a practice like on-farm composting. That being said though, landfilling is much easier than most techniques which require digging or building structures. All that is required by landfilling is really a means of transporting the carcass. That being said though, landfilling is certainly more expensive than a few other techniques, such as burying, if the equipment for which is already in the possession of the farmer. All in all, landfilling can be a great practice, though many variables depend on where you live. Generally, it is fairly easy and straightforward, requiring little labor, though it can be fairly expensive if disposing of a large amount of weight at a time, making it not the best practice to use for a larger cattle farm on a regular basis.